Salve, salve, rapaziada. Estamos de volta para a parte 2 do vídeo de dicas de sobrevivência na neve. Hoje, como vocês podem ver, as condições estão muito mais adversas. Tá nevando e nevando forte. E nada melhor do que um tempo ruim para a gente aprender. Hoje o Justin vai trazer mais umas novidades para a gente, algumas dicas, coisas que ele aprendeu durante a carreira dele. Lembrando que ele foi comandante no batalhão de operações de montanha. E operações de montanha nos Estados Unidos tem muito treino com neve, com esse tipo de coisa. Então se tem alguém que tem propriedade para falar, é ele. E vamos aprender. Justin, the floor is yours. Let me put this mic on you.
Yeah.
All
right. Great. So we couldn't have asked for a better day for this and what we're going to talk about here. This is fresh powder coming down in Canaan Valley, West Virginia. This is beautiful. These are the days that I absolutely love. And the phrase that a lot of skiers and snowboarders say is there are no friends on a powder day, because you got to get out there and make the most of it and enjoy this fresh powder. That's how much I love my friend Eduardo here. Oh, yeah. It's a powder day and we're still doing this, right? And taking time off the slopes.
For you motherfuckers in Brazil.
For you guys, that's right. That's right.
Do not confuse the powder day with other type of powder day, okay? Because I know you guys are kind of fucked up. Don't confuse.
All right, so we have this, and it's a great time to talk about being able to maneuver in the mountains and winter environments, right? Because this is excellent, because this is cover, right? If you're moving around, you've got to get somewhere. Pretty hard to observe with any type of drone around, maybe above cloud cover. It's not going to see much down here. It's not going to see much through infrared, and that's pretty awesome. And then we also have the wood line here, and that's where you really want to be moving around. You've got to navigate through the mountains. You've got your cover here. You're also, when you have this snow, and the snow's out and it's coming down heavy, it's absorbing a lot of sound too. So you're not getting as much sound travel. Easier to sneak around in the woods. Really just the ideal setup right now. Limited visibility. I don't know how well you can see in the back, but there are beautiful mountains all around that we can't even see, right? You can barely see past, about a couple hundred meters at the maximum here. So great stuff. So let's talk about how we get around in the snow. You notice I'm in pretty much the same gear as before. Slight adjustment, I've got my helmet on so that we could go uphill skiing, but also downhill. When we get into some more treacherous terrain, you fall down, you want that head protection. Of course, you can use the military issued helmet and check out our video on talking through kit. That works as well, but I just keep my civilian one because it might scare people if I roll around here skiing up and down the ski lifts looking like I'm ready to assault an objective.
We thought about coming here with the kit, the weapon, but we decided not to go to jail today.
Yeah. All right, so once you have your helmet, goggles are a must here, right? So face cover becomes important, especially as you're going fast downhill. You want some type of double pane goggles so that they're not fogging up. You can't just get any cheap goggles that you find, right? You've got to invest the money for proper optics. You got to be able to see out there, right? That's essential. And you may also be wearing night vision onto them. Here, I've just got a GoPro connector here, but on my helmet with my kit, nods have to be able to come down so you can see night vision skiing, which is its own fun little challenge to do at night. And then
has to be something. Let's talk about it just because I always felt when I put my night vision on, I have problems with night vision just because I have only one eye, so that was a whole challenge for me with night vision. And I always felt like I walk like a duck. If I have my night vision on, I'm walking like this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to trip and shit, because I can see it. Your depth perception is gone.
Yep.
How would that be on when you're going like 10 miles per hour on the ski?
Well, clearings are important, right? And identifying when you have little dips they're going to go through. The key is keeping your knees bent. So when you go through those unexpectedly, you're able to absorb the shock and it doesn't throw you off and end up falling. But this is where it gets very dangerous, when you're actually winding through the trees and that depth perception. The twigs are out there, but you have an eye protection on you underneath the night vision. And that's crucial, right? Because all these branches in the middle of the night, you can't see them well going right into your face. And then taking your time, that's key. Taking time, being with your one of your teammates beside you, so if something happens, you can back each other up. Don't let branches swing back to your partner behind you when you're moving at night, right? Nobody likes being behind that guy in a movement. And really it's training. You just got to get out and you've got to do it over and over, repetitions. So the other thing on covering the face is some type of ski mask. I like this. The Shimag worked very well for me going around Afghanistan in snowy environments. You can keep it covered up. It's also nice and soft. You can be wiping snot from your nose a lot, and then you can move it around. It does tend to, in bad weather, it'll form a shell, and it'll be like an icy shell covering, and then it'll be a little moist on the inside, but you just kind of keep moving around. It's not the best thing, but I've found it to be very useful in a lot of different environments. So I always go with it. I always take it skiing. Works well enough for me. But there are other more high-tech synthetic material versions that cover your face and keep frostbite from your nose and lips. But also chapstick is very important. Keep chapstick on you at all times.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see from the video, but my mouth is...
Yep. Okay, so also on mobility, what I have on today, it's kind of hard to see them. I have some Arc'teryx boots here that are designed for skiing, but also for skinning, and that's what I'm going to talk about real quick. So there's a different setup. You can't go skinning in any ski boot. It's got to have the right attachments in the front and then be able to clip into the rear. The skins are this kind of carpet right here, and if you look at it closely, it's just like a carpet, but all of, let's say, the hairs to the carpet are facing downward. So it has grip downward. So that way the ski can slide forward and you can still ski, but it catches into the snow as it goes back. So that's where we get our mobility. And this allows you to walk uphill. So I'm gonna try and do this best I can. You get a lot of practice and stay in practice, and this becomes much easier to just clip in. But you've got to find exactly where it bolts in despite the snow, and then clip into the back. And here, once your skins are down onto the bottom, bolts into the front. They're both set, and it comes down. And you could slam down, and then you're in ready for skiing, or you keep it elevated up. You have a clip in the back here, and it prevents you from slamming it all the way down. I'll be as graceful as possible doing this in the snow, especially without the poles set yet. Yeah, good. You can edit it so it goes like a pro. And you also get to do this with night vision, and that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, that helps.
There you go. Okay, so with the skins on, you're able to walk, and your heel comes up and drives the ski forward, right?
Oh, I see.
You can see that with the camera there. So I'm moving forward, and the heel comes up. And it's just like the elliptical movement. Now you'll see that I have ski poles that are collapsible here and folding, so that when it's time to actually get on the skis, that can be just in the side of my pack. Grab it right off. Come out. In, extend, and then I know my distance, 115 centimeter total length for pole. Oh, that's in. And then when you're doing this tactically, you always want to do it in pairs, right? So one guy is still ready, he can fight while the other's getting set up. Same thing like when you're setting up nods, getting set for night movement, you always want to do things in those buddy teams. So now you have your poles. When you're using these for backcountry, you usually have bigger baskets on the bottom because that grips into the snow, and then you just push forward and then drag. And you can go like this all day. You'll notice that this is just like the elliptical movement that you'll see in the gym. That's where this comes from. But this will bring you uphill. You could be on 45 degrees and just walking uphill. This is not easy. You can hear me breathing already, and you are kind of dragging it along. But there's limited friction as you go forward. And then you just do that for hours and hours and hours and get up the mountain. If you don't want to pay money for a lift ticket, you can just spend 2 hours walking up the hill like this and then have a free ride down. Depends how expensive it is. Yeah, it's a great workout. And you really feel like you earn that downhill when you get to the top on skins. So one more thing I'd like to show you is how the skin actually goes on and off. This is a regular backcountry ski. It's fairly good for backcountry, but I also use this on groomed trails. So it's wider than you'll see a lot of them. And this is ideal for getting nice turns. It's got a decent curvature, so you get some tight turns, but you'll see some with much more curvature that allows you to turn tighter within the trees and maneuvering in backcountry. This is a good balance for me for my own personal ski.
Which one did you guys use in the military?
So it depends. There may be a standard issue one for conventional, but it goes contract to contract in special operations. They're usually custom to what they need to be doing. You got to look at it. Skis are like shoes, right? You can't just say, oh, I have skis, I can do whatever I need to in skiing, right? Maybe you're in, you need something for long flat stretches, something like Central Asia in the steppe in the middle of the winter. It's a lot of flat work. So you'll need something that glides much better. Let's say you're in the Rockies. You got a lot of fluffy, nice champagne powder snow up there. Great powder days. You're going to need something a little bit wider, right? And then it's suited to whatever type of movement you need to do. Are you going tight turns through the trees? Are you just bombing down a hill for speed? You know, everything's different, just like shoes. So that's why for this, you know, if you have the money, you get all the different types, or you just get a balance. So now the skins, they're removed pretty easy. It's sticky on the bottom, so it stays on there tight, but it's also snapped into the back. You remove it. Now, at my peak, when I was really good at all this, I could do this without even taking off the skis. You just kind of lift them up in the air and do it. But I don't want to fall in front of everyone on YouTube, so I'm just showing you the easy way. Boom. And that's the skin right there. And then you take off the other one, you put them both together, roll them up, put them in your bag. So
it makes more susceptible to speed and agility.
Yep. So now you're ready to just go downhill quick. You need to train taking them on and off, because you could go up a mountain for about an hour and then you're just going to have a 10-minute downhill. You can still ski down with this on because the blades on the outside of the ski are still exposed, right? You get them custom cut to fit it, but it makes it much more difficult. I have been up on a mountain at about 14,000 feet where a storm came in really fast and we had to bail as a team. And the NCOIC, the sergeant in charge of the training exercise, made the call, keep the skins on. There's no time. We need to get below this, the altitude here and back into the tree line. Stay in buddy teams, keep visibility from buddy team to buddy team, and then slowly work your way down the mountain. We all got off safely. It's a nice little story to tell over beers afterwards. Yep. Yeah, so that's for the most part what you need to know about maneuvering out. In the open, one more thing I'll touch on is another danger, which is avalanche. Avalanche is something that it takes a lot of study to fully understand. In your average, you know, out here in Canyon Valley, going on the slopes, like there's a lot of avalanche mitigation that ski resorts take care of. Same in most places in the Rocky Mountains. A lot of the better ski resorts are always going to have a pretty good program. Some places they even fire artillery into the mountain to force avalanches when there's a lot of buildup. The key thing to know is East Coast, our ski conditions are not great when you compare it to, let's say, the Alps, the Rockies. So we get ice, right? This morning we woke up and then it started raining for a little bit and then the snow came in really hard. So you get ice layers from rain, and then you get nice powder like this that we're getting today on top of it. And then you might get another harder layer of wetter snow that isn't as powdery. Those different layers, when you look at snow in a cross section, I don't know how well you could see it here, but if you were just with the GoPro, yeah. And you can look at your different snow depths just by digging through. So here we have what? That's a little over a foot down. You can see the grass here. And then you can look, are there different layers here? right? Is it, this is very soft, this is very hard, right? So we have that hard layer here, and then it gets soft again here. So this presents risks for avalanche, because there's different layers will slide off of each other, especially on a day like today when you're getting a lot more snow. It's coming down, I don't know, I think it's supposed to be 6 inches or something just during the day while we're skiing here. Like, that's a lot. And that weight starts to accumulate. And then on the right slant hill, it just starts. And once it starts, it builds more and more momentum. When you're moving in backcountry, you need to be trained in avalanche drills. You need to be able to recover each other. If somebody gets buried in an avalanche, everyone keeps avalanche beacons on them so they can track each other. And then you've got to find them in the snow with your beacon and dig him out before he runs out of air. It's a very dangerous situation. Also consider it in all your route plans. When you look through here, moving through trees, sometimes that helps keep the snow together and prevent avalanches. But you can see plenty of slides where trees went down too. So you just need to be aware of that. What's the slope? What's the avalanche risk in that area? And then use that to plan your route. And what kind of balance are you going to take with possibly being detected by the enemy as you're moving, or being buried in an avalanche?
I was going to ask about this because one of the things we learned in Series 2 is about covering our tracks on the snow. That's very hard to do.
It's very hard. But on a day like today, it's very easy. Nature does it for you.
Okay. Oh, yes.
You know? So, of course, if you're messing around like this and you're digging in, all that type of, a little more difficult. But if you look at just my ski trails here from skinning, what did we say, about 6 inches today? Yep. Yep. It'll be covered up real quick. Especially, it's easy to see from above too. And it's even easier when the sun is low and it casts shadows. So observation from above. But by the time you get anything above to observe, this would be pretty well covered up. If you're on the ground, you might be able to recognize it pretty easily that maybe in the past day somebody's gone through here, the snowfall covered a little bit. But that will also help you estimate how long it's been since that patrol may have gone through.
Cool.
Yep.
Guys, we're done with the work. Now we're going to have some fun. We're going to ski. I'm going to snowboard for the first time. I might, I don't promise. I might get some images with the GoPro on my head. But first and foremost, I want to thank Justin again, man.
Awesome,
we
man.
planned this trip in December. I told him, man, I want to do some when the snow started coming out in North Carolina. I was like, realized like, oh, we don't have any content snow on the channel. Like, I'm gonna call Justin. I'm 100% sure he's gonna come with us. And he didn't hesitate. He said, bro, just let me know the day and we go. And as you guys know, I'm horrible planning stuff. And he was always like, hey, let's do this day. This day is good. This day is gonna have a lot of snow. I have a lot of stuff prepared to show to you guys. Let's do it. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And here you are, Justin. I love you. You know that. Thanks so much for this. And this is the type of content you don't see everywhere. So make sure you like, subscribe. If you want to follow Justin now, back in the days, we were not very much into social media for him because he was still active, but now he's a coach. He's training professional boxers. He's excellent striker. And Coach Bacal.
Coach Bacal on Instagram. Also, I have my new company now set up for personal training, combat sports to promote character growth for all ages, and sports management. That's Honor Combat Sports. You can find me on honorcombatsports.com or emailing Coach Bacal at Honor Combat Sports.
I do have someone to introduce you.
All right.
He's a Brazilian. He's a former United States Sergeant too. United States Army Sergeant. He was a chaplain assistant in Macau for years.
Okay.
He left right before you got here.
All right, great.
He's now managing box athletes in Brazil. That's it.
In Brazil?
Yeah, Mr. Rene. You guys know.
It's one more reason to go down to Brazil and hang out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will introduce you guys. I'll make the link, and then you can talk to him and get some. You guys get some network. Guys, remember this: life is all about the friends you have around you. Okay. We have this alpha personality that we do things by ourselves, but I promise you, you need some type of support. And it doesn't need to be a daily support. It needs to be someone that you know you can count. Doesn't matter how long you guys are away. Doesn't matter the distance. You know if you call them, they'll be there for you. And those are the most important things in life. Don't forget about that. Justin, again, thanks so much. We finish here. See you guys next video.
Thank you.